Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 3 replays in the French Tier 10 Tech Tree medium tank, the BC-25. Now if you did like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the BC-25 got buffed in the recent big patch that got released with the millions of tanks that got buffed. And it's a pretty solid assassin of a medium tank. It comes in, it's got a big clip potential, it drops the clip, and then you run away. You use the super duper good camo that this vehicle has to stay stealthed, stay unspotted, and then be able to dish out the clip. And since you've got that very good camo as well on this vehicle, there's a lot of situations where you can use bush cover, fire through bushes, and you can fire a lot of the clip without ever even getting spotted, which is why it's that really good assassin. Because if you get someone caught out like this chisel, you can just decimate their hit points very, very quickly. And if you get a full clip like this as well, you can see what it's like. Sadly, we ended up bouncing that 4th shell, but we did pen the 5th, and we did 1638 in 4 shells out of the 5 in the clip, because you do have a 2k clip potential. Now, it's not enough to quite clip out a lot of vehicles, but what this thing is that mopper. It comes in closer towards the end of the game, where people don't quite have as much hit points. You come in, start smashing people with the clip, and then you can take out 2-3 people in a clip, or even just rack up damage so quickly, take most of the hit points of people. It's that kind of vehicle. So what got buffed on the BC? Well, the accuracy on the stock gun, because yes, it is the tier 10 with a stock gun, got buffed to 0.35, it went to 320 alpha instead of 300, it got a slight buff to its penetration on its premium, and that should make it a little bit nicer to be able to grind through to get to your top gun, which is this 105mm F1 gun, which went from its reload from 44 seconds to 42 seconds. So it actually got a 2-second buff on its clip, which is quite nice for the BC. It means it reloads that little bit faster, and it means that when you... well, you're just not having quite as much downtime. 2 seconds isn't a lot, but it's just enough to give it that little bit nicer of a feel on the reload. So with the BC-25, you've got a 65 km/h top speed, a 23 km/h reverse speed, 720 horsepower engine, which is 28.48 horsepower per ton ratio, which means you fly to the top speed, and with great ground resistances at 1.47, 0.92 and 0.83 on soft, medium and firm respectively. Fantastic ground resistances, fantastic mobility on this tank. It zooms, you will not be held back by the ground resistances. If you wanted to make it faster with traction system, you'd get up to the 71 kilometers an hour pretty easily. It's just a fantastic tank with its mobility. You've got 42 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed, which means it does turn pretty quickly on its tracks as well, which is quite nice for the BC. 262 meters of still concealment with 273 meters of on the move concealment means that you are a very stealthy medium tank indeed. Like I say, if you use the bush cover, you stay at distance. A lot of the time you can stay unspotted. You can almost play it like a pseudo scout at times, the BC, which is quite nice for that. So you can get good assistance damage games without getting spotted, but then you've got that deadly clip to be able to go use against your opponents too. You've got 512 meters of view range, which is good enough to be able to spot for yourself really easily. 41.27 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed. Is that little bit slower than the tracks though, so do be careful of that. One thing that isn't the best about this vehicle is the gun handling at times can feel very derpy, and you've got a 1.13 accuracy during rotation with a 2.4 accuracy during movement, and that's with all 3 gun perks and gun stabilizer. That's not great, and it means the aim circle does bloom out quite a bit, and with a 2.49 second aim time as well, yeah, it takes a wee while to get this gun aimed in when it is fully bloomed out. The gun handling at times can be a bit frustrating on the BC, and it can miss shots at times that you sit there going, oh, come on BC, you should have hit that, right? It's just one of those things, but it is a balancing factor to the fact that you've got such good camo, mobility, and V-range and all that good stuff as well as having the deadly clip in turn. You got a 0.31 accuracy at 100 meters, which means that the gun is pretty accurate though at distance. It's not incredibly accurate, but it's good enough, and in terms of the base accuracy. But 0.31 is an accurate gun, and like I say, when you get it fully aimed, occasionally it will derp because RNGesus hates you. Sorry, it's not me, it's RNGesus. It does hate you at times. And yeah, you've got 0.31, which makes it decent. You've got 6 degrees of gun depression, though, which can be a bit inflexible on a ridgeline. It's neither terrible, but nor is it good. And again, it can be pretty awkward to use on a ridgeline. You are a low-profile target, though, which can be decent. But yeah, just be careful of what kind of ridgeline you put yourself on in the BC, as you do have to overexpose yourself to be able to get all of your clip out if you wanted to. And that's what I'm talking about with the gun at times, by the way. That shot on the M6Y. Yeah, thanks, gun. That was really good of you. So yeah, you've got a 34-second reload, so it's quite a long reload on this clip for 5 shells, which is 2.6k DPM, but you don't really pay attention to raw DPM for auto-loaders. It's more about their burst capacity. And by the way, at this point, I realise I'm not going to get any more damage by the time I reload, so I decide to ram the dude. And he's going to kill me. But yeah, so you got a 34.03 second reload, which is quite long, and a 2.73 second intra-clip reload on this tank as well. Which means it takes you 14.05 seconds or something in that region anyway. Quick maths, brain, hard, right? It's about just over 14 seconds to be able to get this whole clip out, which means it does take a long while, which is why you use it as that assassin, that stealthy assassin where you're firing at people without being spotted, and that lets you get the whole clip off, which can be pretty handy for the vehicle, but it does take a long while, as well as the fact that you've got a long reload on this clip. But again, balancing factors. You got 259 penetration on the standard APCR, with 330 pen on the premium heat rounds, and 53mm of penetration on the HE for 390 alpha on the standard APCR and heat, and 480 on the HE. Which is good enough to go through most vehicles that you're going to face. You're never really going to use the HE rounds because it takes far too long to be able to load this clip in. And the fact that you actually have not that many rounds as well means you can run out, and there's no real point in taking the 5 HE rounds for a clip. I only take 5 heat rounds because it's only when I'm truly desperate will I load those heat rounds to be able to go through tanks for the most part. And you've got 1460 meters a second shell velocity on that standard APCR, which you're seeing here, and 800 meters a second shell velocity on the heat rounds. So do be careful when you load the heat rounds that your shell velocity is that much slower, and that means that you'll have to give a lot of lead at distance to be able to hit your targets because it's not the best shell velocity in the universe. But your standard APCR round is fantastic in terms of the velocity, and as you've just seen there, it's quite easy to hit tanks at distance, and we got a whole clip there for 2014. Yeah, this game is going to be something. Trust me on that. Although we're going to absolutely screw it up at the end. Spoilers! But yeah, okay. So, in terms of a crew and equipment for the BC-25, I do run a fairly standard stealthy medium tank crew and equipment. I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Silent Driving, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, with the Optics, the Gun Stabilizer, and the Camo Net. Camo Net to get the best out of the concealment on this vehicle so that I can stay nice and stealthy and have that 262 meters of still concealment, the same as having the Camouflage Expertise and the Silent Driving. And the Silent Driving really helps me to get into position without getting spotted too easily as well, having that 273 meters of on the move concealment. Gun Stabilizer to get the accuracy during rotation and movement down as low as possible, same as all 3 gun perks, because this gun is tragic at times if you do not help it out, so you really do need to do that. And obviously it's one of the things that used to be a pain for this vehicle is that it used to be fairly derpy. 6.0 came along though, added all the accuracy skills, and the accuracy on this tank is still fantastic. I mean, hitting shots like that was probably something that Batchat never really did back in the day, but these days it is still fairly accurate if you run the Gun Stabilizer and all 3 gun perks. And that's why we do it. And optics naturally, so you can play that pseudo scout role when you need to, spot for yourself, and you can spot your targets at great distances and be able to use the bush cover to stay unspotted while you farm all their hit points as well, which is a lovely thing to do. But there's plenty of ways you can set up the vehicle. Like I say, it's really down to you and how you want to kit out the tank. If you want to drop the gun stabilizer for the traction system, that is also a perfectly valid option if you want to just give up the gun handling and think, you know what, I'm going to be firing a lot of times from stationary, I don't really need the gun handling, I'm just going to take traction system so I can go at 71 kilometers an hour and get to those more aggressive bush locations a bit quicker and a bit easier. Perfectly valid thing to do. Honestly, it's really down to you and how you feel comfortable playing a vehicle and how you're going to be able to get the best out of a tank as well. So in this second game here on this map, which is Death Valley, we got there in the end. It's because it's brand new. It's still stuck in my brain. We've taken this little hill up at the top, and this is why I like this position, because you can do stuff like this. You do have to be careful, though, as you're seeing. Soapy rocks are a thing, and soapy rocks like to fling you off of this position. You can see I'm really struggling to get back, so do be very careful when you're trying to get shots down into that little section like you've just seen me do there. And that's where it's a bit of a pain for people that go through that area, because if we take the top section, we can do that pretty easily. So we're up to 5.1k damage, 212 assistance, and I decided, okay, I need to get away. They've got quite a few tanks coming through that section. What I want to do is get up around the back and side of the medium tank and heavy tank that are currently marauding in the middle, get rid of them, and then I can try and help my team where I'm needed, because we're losing. It's 6-11. It's not going well in terms of the team performance. We're having a good game, and we're having an impact wherever we truly can, but so far it's not really been enough. So we find the UDES 1516. We end up tracking him, because sadly it didn't actually pen him with the first one. We're going for that lower plate. I figure I'm probably going to take a hit here, but he's already fired, so the likelihood was unlikely. And thankfully, we get the whole clip in to be able to shut him down before he ever gets another shot into us. We go straight for the reload. Now we've got a bit of an awkward problem with our clip, though, because we've got 17 shells left for this APCR. And at some point, we're going to have 2 shells loading for only, well, for 34 seconds, which is not optimal. You're going to spend 34 seconds reloading only 2 shots. That's not great. But we'll see what happens. We're up to 6.3k damage. I see the heavy tank. He's pressing behind our heavy tank. I could go help him with that, but I see tanks that are clippable. Tanks that I can help the heavy tank out with, because the heavy tank's still got, that E100 still has got a good amount of hit points. I can get over here. Oh, we've ricocheted that. I could get over here and clip out both the 140 and try and get all of the hit points of the Fraternity as well, because I could do that, which is why I wanted to come here. Sadly, we take a hit from the 268, and then that other tank, that other medium tank came out of nowhere, and yeah, we've lost a load of hit points because that 268 managed to derp us. I didn't expect a load of their team to just appear out of the blue there. That was one of those ones where you go, oh boy, that's a lot of tanks. Where did they come from? So I'm going to try and make it look like I'm running away to the ABC line, basically, and then I've done what I want to do, which is turn the tables, flip around, and go back towards the hill area and get after this TD, which is a Sturmtiger. And I've done that because I wanted it so that they thought I was going somewhere else and I could try and catch someone else out and isolate them if I needed to. But unfortunately, Mr. T22 medium finds us. I figure I'm going to take a hit here, so I just take the hit and put some shots in to be able to finish off this T22 medium tank. And there we go. We finish that guy off, and we're up to 8.7k damage with 212 assistance damage. And I really want to try and help this artillery out if I can. I've still got 2 shells loaded, though, because I figure if I come across this Sturmtiger, I might be able to get a shot or 2 into him and then reload the full clip and go after someone else, or you know, then I'll be able to finish him off with 1 shell out the next clip. So we're trying to find the Sturmtiger. We find the mouse though, 56 hit points, can't pan that at this distance with APCR, so we're just going to charge after him. I'm fully expecting the 268 to be coming after me as well, so we find the Sturmtiger, miss the shot, he misses his, but I can't quite find the shot into Mr. Sturmtiger. So I go straight for my reload, go for 30 seconds, and I think with 30 seconds to go, I do need to get this Sturmtiger out of the game, but I'm going to have he's going to have friends come in. I'm fully expecting that 268 to come over one of these ridge lines and go, hello friend, I delete you now. And then I have a sad time, and especially with a tank entering the base right now, that's not good. That's no good, which means they are very, very close. So the Sturmtiger deletes the T92. I'm nearly loaded. I'm going to have time to get after this Sturmtiger before he's reloaded. I should be able to try and clip him out. But again, in the back of my brain, 268. That 268's coming. So we get 1 shot into him. We're going to try and get another one into him on the move. We put him down to a 1 shot. But again, I'm fully thinking I can't go back after him. I'm just going to have to chance going in front of him because there's a 268 coming or someone else coming. And sadly, he shuts us down. We should have just run away from that situation. I was too busy thinking about the 268 possibly coming after me, and we just decided to risk it for a biscuit, and it didn't work out. And finished the game with 4 kills, 9.4k damage, the first class, the high caliber, with that 976 base XP. Sad, sad loss there, as we had an amazing game for the bat chat, but we threw it away right at the end there. That was just one of those moments where you overthink it and think, I can't go back. I can't go back round to go try and get him in the rear. I can't run away because I feel like I'm going to bump into a 268 or something else because there was still 6 tanks left. Not that I really could have won it because there were still 3 full health tanks knocking around and I didn't have the shells to be able to do that. But yeah, I could have done so much better with that. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. And we're on to the third and final replay of this video. And we're here on this map, which is Karelia. And on Karelia, you know, we're going to have a pretty nice game. We're going to try and end this video with a nicer game than a defeat like the last one. And we're going to this flank on the ABC line, which is a good flank to go to for a fast mobile medium tank like the Batchat 25T, because you can reflank quite easily, you can get good shooting positions with your clips, and then you can go and try and spot the enemy team and get some good assistance damage as well. So we've found the Projectile 65, we found the BZ-176, and I'm just going to sit and wait on this corner because there's every possibility the Projectile 65 could poke out round that corner. There's every possibility the BZ-176 could poke out round that corner. So we're just going to wait, because patience is a virtue, and good things come to those who wait. And if one of those guys pokes around that corner with their tracks, I can possibly track them. They might get destroyed by the medium tank behind me. Hello, BZ-176. He's risking it for a biscuit. we did that in the last game, and it ended exactly the same. And we shot down that tier 8 Chinese heavy tank there with the shots through his side. That's what I was waiting for. Good things come to those who wait. Because I was waiting for the... I thought the Progetto would do it. I didn't think the BZ would do it. But, well, thankfully we got we got the damage there. So Motherland pokes up as well, in a position that I fully didn't expect a Motherland to show up from. We get the tracking shot in there to track and pen him with damage to the Amarak, but he takes a hit in the rear as well from the hill at G7, and we finish off the Motherland. Well, we didn't even finish off the Motherland there with a shot. It flashed as if we did, but the Progetto 65 got it. So we didn't get the kill. Sag. But we're up to 1439 damage with 754 assistance damage. So we're waiting for the clip before we go and do anything. I could go around on the left, but I know the Progetto 65 was in that position at B4. So instead, I'm going to go around on the right. Possibility I could get shots into his rear behind that rock. But also, if I go around this way, I can also possibly spot any of their campers that might be sitting at B7, B8. And again, light up the enemy team for my tanks to be able to shoot them and give me assistance damage, which would be very nice. So we find an IS-3. Hello, Mr. IS-3, and a T-58 Heavy. So we get a shot into the IS-3's upper plate. We can finish this guy off in, well, one more shot if we get it in. And there we go. We finish off that Tier 8 Soviet Heavy tank. We see the T-58 Heavy, who we can now finish off after that shot. But no, we can't, because RNGesus said, no. Why is Nelson Muntz? Well, actually, it fits, doesn't it, really? Let's be honest. RNGesus is Nelson. He just sits there going, ha-ha, every time you miss. It is what it is. So, we're up to 2,400 assistance, because we are spotting the medium tank and, well, both medium tanks, really. We're up to 3.3k damage. I want to get into a position to be able to shoot the Centurion 7-1 if I can. Maybe get up into a position to be able to shoot this Progetto 65 as well, that is sat on top of the hill. So we see the Centurion, sorry. I thought about taking the shot, but, well, he reacts to the fact that he got detected and runs away. So we can't actually get any shots into him. So what we can do is go and try and find that Progetto. We do find a Canonian Jagdpanzer, though, the 88mm version that you can get in the Season Pass currently. And we're going to try and clip this guy out, because we can clip this guy out in 3 shells, if we're lucky. 4 shells, if we're not. So we find the back of him. I'm trying to track and pen him, but he turns just in time. And I figure, you know what, I'm just taking a hit. I'll take a hit. I don't know why he doesn't back off quick enough there, but I take the hit to just be able to finish him off. I've got 2 shells left in the clip. And so we're going to drive around and see if we can get a shot into the Waffle Panzer IV or that Centurion. But in fact, a full health Progetto 65 appears out from absolutely nowhere in their base. And at this point I think, well, I'm dead. I've just got to run and lead him to the rest of my team. That's all I can do, is lead him into a position where he can get shot easily by my team and they'll save me. And thankfully, I get all the spotting on that, and he does. No idea why that Progetto was still in his base at full health, but okay, we'll take the spotting, and we missed the damaging shots, sadly. But yeah, it is what it is. They've got 6 tanks left on their team, and in fact, there's the Progetto 65 from earlier on, the one that was in the middle. And he gets shut down by the standard B. I don't really want to go into the position where the cap is. I don't want to go into the cap, because that will wake up the Waffle Panzer IV and the Arty possibly to the danger of me coming after them. And there we go. We find the Arty. We put 1 shot in. I think with that rock covering it, he's not going to be able to get a shot at me. But actually, he did. He did get a shot at us. I thought that rock was obscuring us, but sadly not. And we were very lucky to still be alive there. That guy probably should have killed us with the splash, but we'll take it. And we've got 3 shells left for Mr. Waffle Panzer IV, wherever he is running to now, because he's definitely running away. And there we go. We find the Waffle Panzer IV, hopefully track him, but no, we don't manage to get that. But he's out in the open. We do get the track this time, which means we're going to be able to shut him down. And there we go. The final shot of the clip into Mr. Waffle Panzer IV, putting us up to nearly 7,000 damage with 3,434 assistance damage. So we've got 10k combined, which is a really nice game for the batch at 25T. And there's only 2 tanks left on the enemy team. And the TD that just gets shut down now, Mr. Waffle Panzer IV, and the heavy tank, which is on this corner. An M5Y, well, no, it's an M6Y, sorry. No, M5Y. It was an M5Y. I did read that right, looking at that. But yeah, it was the M5Y who had very little hit points, and he gets shut down as well. So we finished with the victory, the 5 kills, 6.9, nearly 7k damage, 3.4k assistance damage, the ace tank of the Pascucci's, the high caliber, the sniper medal, with that 1821 base XP. A really nice game there for the batch at 25T, which has been buffed, and fully lovely assassin medium tank to play at tier 10. And if you like that kind of stealthy medium tank gameplay that's fast-paced as well, because it can go really fast, this Batchat 25T, you'll like the Batchat 25T. It's a great fun tank, to be fair. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!